So this is a demonstrational to show how we can play through Luck Be a Landlord on the hardest difficulty, because some people out there are struggling with hardest difficulty. They've been asking me how to do. So this is how to do level 9. How to get to level 9? Well, eventually you'll get there, but let's just work on the hardest difficulty first. The things that we say here can apply to the lower levels as well. Right, so I am recording this video to assume that you guys know how to play, but want to get a little bit better at the game. So that's the kind of demographic that we're aiming for here, right? So I'm not going to tell you that flower gives 1. I'm not going to tell you that pearl gives 1 every 5 seconds, because you know, right? But we want things to work together. If something's not working, get rid of it. So let's take the urn here, because it's going to give us spirit when it's gone. We can take a dog, because I've got a dog. His name is Ricky. Let's take the oyster, so that we can get loads of pearls. Hopefully a geologist or somebody can eat them. We'll take a cheese for a mouse, because the mouse will give 15 when he eats the cheese. Pretty good. Let's get a wolf. It'll give us 2 every time. Let's get a jack-o'-lantern. Now that's going to boost toddlers. We don't have a toddler, but now we've got a reason to pick one. We can take here a banana peel, because maybe we want to quickly pop in a thief and get it killed, and then that'll get rid of the banana peel as well. We can have a key for opening a chest later, and we can immediately start to go into suits. We can take a candy here, which is going to give 2 instead of 1. Now, because we've got the jack-o'-lantern. Now, here's another suits card. Here is a conveyor belt, which is going to give more stuff from the oyster, giving more pearls. I don't think we want to get that, since we don't have anything to kill the pearls, and we're going to lose, right? So yes, it's decent, but it's bad for us right now. We do have 2 cards, though. So if we don't have a dwarf, the happy hour is not going to help us really. And there are 6 blanks, so maybe we'll get 3 if 3 blanks are in show. So let's try that one. There's only 1 blank that time. Let's get the candy, because it's worth 2. And let's get a shiny pebble for a little bit more luck for some more of those cards. We've already found 2 though. Right. Let's take a hex of tedium. It's going to give us 3 per turn. We can get rid of it later. We're going to take an item capsule for a free item, because we don't want a coin and we don't want a goose, because we'll just have to get rid of them later. So let's give us the monkey boost there. Now, we picked earlier a key, so let's get this chest to open it, and that gets rid of the key. And pay that 100. So here, we don't have the monkey, so the coconut's not going to work. Here's the diamonds for the suits, and we pick up red suits as well. Now we can remove that oyster, so he doesn't make too many pearls. We've got 3 already, that's okay. But since we didn't find Geologist or a diver already, that's just going to get worse and worse and worse. We've started to find cards, so let's go with cards. So we can take a crab, potentially we'll find another one, but the 3-sided dice is going to give us 2 every time, on average. And there's 2. Now, we don't have a miner, so the golem's not going to help, it's going to give nothing. We do have, though, 2 candies for a toddler, and the toddler will give double, and the candy will give double. He immediately is hungry. So here, we don't want any of these. Let's reroll. And we could get a dwarf, but there's only 1 blank symbol left. We would want to get rid of the pearls, so the dwarf could work, but we might want to fill these spaces here with more cards and jokers, right? So let's say no. Have restraint. That's what you need to do in this game. So here is a cultist, the same situation. We haven't got one yet, so there's no point in taking one now. The mouse we can get to eat our cheese and free up another space on the board for more cards. Here, we don't want any of these. They're not helping what we're trying to do. That toddler and that mouse are doing their actions. That key still has not opened up that safe, so we're getting agitated. There's another suits card. Excellent. Here is grave robber, which means if we find urns and if we find tombs, we can then automatically delete those. We already had an urn from earlier on in the game. We don't want any of those, even though the orange does give 2, which we could get, actually, because we will be getting spaces very soon. Let's get the orange for now. Right, there's another red suits. Perfect. And another red suits. Reflex pickup. That dice is rolling 3 quite a lot. We're getting lucky. We don't want any of those. Now, we could get a key for the chest we don't have. Now, I say that this key needs to open this chest. So we would have 2 keys. That would suck. Let's skip. We don't want those. So we were looking for removal capsules now. So we made that rent by some margin. So the next one's 300. Big urn will give us 2 spirits, which give us 4 times, which is 16. So it'll give us 32 when it's destroyed, and 2 for the first one time that it's there. So that's pretty powerful. Let's get the coin on the string, because we still have a coin. That will give us 4. So it gives us 1 every turn. Plus 3 for taking a coin. So that's pretty good. Let's remove now something that's not working. So we don't have anything to boost up a flower, so that can get lost. Now, this wild card is an instant pick. It doesn't matter what else is there. The wild card, if anything is surrounding it, whatever the highest is, it will match that highest. So say the toddler gives 60, and the wild card is next to the toddler, you'll also get 60 with the wild card. And since we have loads of red cards and some black cards, that's likely to happen several times. So I've just taken there 2 more urns, which can be destroyed, and they give spirits. The spirits always give 4. They will delete themselves after a while. They sort of fade up into the night. Another urn. See, we've already made the rent, and we've still got 2 spins to go. So some spirits have disappeared now. We can go here for a lucky capsule to try and get a joker or a card shark to boost up those cards. That makes the most sense. So let's pay that rent. Right here, we can have a golden egg, which just gives 3. We can get a chef, which boosts food, which we don't really have any. We have this orange here and this cherries, but we'd rather get rid of them. So none of those are really any good. Let's just re-roll. Here we can get a geologist. So now that we have a geologist, there is a twist, because he'll eat all the pearls and clear up more space for the suits. That key nearly still needs to open up that chest, but this Quigley the wolf is going to turn the dog into a wolf, give 4 the first turn, and then 3 every turn after that. So, not bad. There he is, he's a wolf now. So we can get here a void creature, it's going to give 8. 1 turn. That
the key, it finally opened the box.
Yeah, that took it like 10 spins to open. So none of those are any good. We're looking now for cards and things to feed the geologist. Maybe some arrows to point towards him. So we don't want none of those. So this is the theme now. We're going to be skipping a lot. We don't want those. And we could have got the coin to get the coin on a string, give us 4. But I'd already clicked off it. So the urn is going to be better than the coin in this occasion. So we don't have any way to open up a safe. It's just going to take time. Let's get rid of it. Skip. See, the red suits are starting to pay. So let's get a reroll capsule here. Seeing as we're good for money, we need to find more stuff to improve what we already have. So that rent was easy. We can get a hustling capsule to give us 1 per turn, but I suggest that we just re-roll. There's our clubs. We'll take that. This clear sky is very good, but we don't have anything that works with that, so that's just a complete waste of time. In fact, none of these are going to help us since we don't have anything with bears, we don't have any flowers, but there's no point in just not taking one. We'll take one. Let's remove that banana peel. There is other things we'd like to remove, but all these cards are nicely aligning. Let's re-roll that one as well. We could get the bubble, which will give us 6, but it also blocks off some of the other symbols aligning. We do have 3 blanks though, so that could fit in a blank spot. Let's try it. You always need to make sure that you have around 25 symbols. If you have way more than 25 symbols, you won't always get the ones you want to be close up. So here, since we're kind of rich, let's get a coal, which will turn into a diamond, and then later we could potentially multiply that diamond with other things like arrows and the wild card. So there is an arrow, but I don't think that the ×2 for arrows is any good. I think that when it starts ×3 for silver and ×4 for gold, that it's way better. So we'll pass on that one this time. Here, we don't want any of these. This golem will provide ore for the geologist, so that is a good choice. This 5-sided dice gives an average of 3. Now, our geologist is getting 6. Our wild card can copy him. Our wolves already get 3. Our cards can get significantly more than 3. But it is better than our 3-sided dice, which gets an average of 2. So let's take that and delete the smaller one. So that's an upgrade. We don't want any of these. We're considering getting rid of the toddler very soon. He only gives 1, and it's a bit late in the game to start picking candy. There goes some spirits. We're looking for a joker to increase our cards. So here's a chemical 7. Now, we don't already have one, but it is going to give us 7 coins when it gets deleted. We don't want a chicken. We'll be hip deep in chickens before we can say, I need to pay the rent. Let's get a white pepper for an average of 3 every 3rd spin. So here's another suits card. Here is an ore for the geologist. That 5-sided dice rolled 1. This dog would turn into a wolf. We could get it. But I think we'll see less cards. So let's not do that. We're about to have the golem pop into loads of ore, which is going to cause some problems for a while. The coin will get deleted by the coin on the string. So that golem blew up next to the geologist. That kind of helped. The sapphire will be eaten by the geologist. So we need to be big friends with our geologist. Here's another ore for the geologist. We get the coin there that can be removed. Wow, he's over there and all that ore. How stupid. So 1 spin to make the rent. We're easily done it. There he goes. He found the ore this time. Looks like he's been playing Minecraft and find just stone for a while. Okay. We'll pay that rent. The next one will be 650. Now this one can be tough to get to. So we really need to make some sensible decisions. We don't want to take like five more cultists or crabs or something stupid. We don't want to go into a new thing. We want to delete some of the older ones. So we could take a second geologist, but I think the other one should be just fine. Because he's going to start out at a low number, and there'll be less chance for the other one to be on the screen, our bigger one, which we can get arrows to point to. Let's re-roll. We'll take a spirit, because that will give us 16. We can take black suits here, which is very good, because we've got red and black suits, and then we can remove something that's not working.
Like the mouse.
So we've got mouse, cat, and cherry. Let's do mouse first. So 50 for that spin. Another ore for the geologist. Well, he has got a lot to eat, but he'll eat through that pretty quickly. And he's next to the wild card, so he got boosted. Now here is another chemical 7. That's number 2 now. We can take the void creature here. It will give a guaranteed 8. For 100. Now we don't want the mouse or cheese. We just got rid of it. So we skip. We'll take the black suits. I'm going to pass on the urn this time. So I want to get rid of some of these items. So we can get more suits on the board. 2 spins to make 650. Not bad. We'll take the coin here. It's instantly removed. So that geologist is doing his stuff. 108 for that spin. I think the average spin that we're getting is going up and up by just not picking anything. Now, we have a silver arrow here. We'll take that. We will also take the purple pepper. It gives 5 if 3 or more of the same symbol are adjacent. Now, we do have several symbols that are the same. That could happen. Plus, I think the wild card counts. So these 3 diamonds counted, and we got the money for them. Void stone will give us 8. So you see now, as the geologist is clearing the board, we are getting more of these suits touching. The arrow there pointing towards the geologist, so that's a new record, 135. We don't want any of those. That's a pretty bad spin, 81. We'll take the coin for the guaranteed 4. $161. Void stone, guaranteed 8. Now that coal has now turned into diamond. At long last. Take the shiny pebble, geologist can eat that. We've still got 3 spins to make the rent of 700. So there's no way that we're going to lose now. Let's take the coal. It'll turn into another diamond later on. We don't need those. So our geologist has reached a value of 20 now. We don't need those. And we can pay that rent. So the last one is 777, and that is effectively the last rent. You can play on forever if you want, but we don't want to do that. Let's re-roll. We don't want those. If we get the mine, when the mining pick deletes the ore, it doesn't give +1 to the geologist. So really, we don't want that. We could take a lunchbox, but what's the point? We're looking for cards and ore. You can't get cards and ore in a lunchbox, so it's pointless. We will be destroying stuff though, so this black pepper is most useful. Let's take out the cat. We don't need him. Those dice both rolled max. 124. Here's an ore for the geologist. So, we don't really need any. Let's get the pearl that the geologist can eat. And of course, we don't see the geologist on the next spin. That means we have too many items. So if I just show you again, we've got 28. So that's 3 over 25. So really, we've played the whole game with this orange and this cherry that we didn't need at any point because we wanted to remove it. But on these higher difficulties, you don't have as many remove tokens. So you need to use them as wisely as possible. So obviously, if a Mrs. Fruit did pop up, we could have them both removed. It's an if. However, there's no if about winning this game. We're definitely going to win. So we've beat the rent with 6 to go. Let's skip that. So I still maintain that you want around 25 symbols. Now, I've heard some people say that with the 2 red X's that you want about 35 symbols. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Now, if you can remove the red X's, then that's brilliant. But if you can't, you still want to be about 25. As long as you've got strong symbols, having 2 less, so having 18 on the screen, is no different than having 35 symbols and never finding what you want to touching. So it's better to see all of your symbols each spin roughly, even if they're red X's. So here's that last spin for 109. So we almost had double that amount of rent. So thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.